Teenagers are not stupid. They don't want the responsibility of taking a big decision that will affect them for the rest of their life and then get the blame if it later turns out that they got it wrong. So, when you ask them what they want to do at university, or even worse, in their career when they grow up, they usually respond,
I don't know.
in elementary school, most of us wanted to be footballers or astronauts or rock stars. But by the time we are in high school, we know that that's unrealistic, and so we become more cautious and a bit unsure. Sometimes that I don't know actually means
I don't want to grow up yet and have all these responsibilities dumped on me, starting with choosing what to do.
this is quite understandable and rational actually. Recently, I have been meeting quite a few young people at open days for Trinity College, Cambridge, or for the computing department at Cambridge, and I'm going to do a series of short videos to answer genuine questions I've actually received from them. I'm linking the playlist in the description. But these are answers to people who have already decided their topic. They want to do computer science, their preferred university, they want to come to Cambridge, and sometimes even their college, they want to come to Trinity. Whereas many other teenagers don't have that clarity yet, and plus they don't quite realize how many years of preparation they should put in before filling in that application. So today, with this video, I'm going to take a step back and talk to a much younger audience, say between the ages of 12 to 16, more or less, to help them find the right path for themselves a few years later. And because sometimes you need to start thinking about it quite early. For example, if you are brilliant at maths and programming and you want to do computer science at Cambridge, it would be a very good idea to start early with competitions like the International Olympiads. But for this kind of tips, you should see the other videos I mentioned where I respond to Cambridge applicants to computer science specifically. Now in this video instead, I want to address a much broader and younger audience, including people who don't want to do computer science at all, or don't want to come to Cambridge. According to YouTube, less than 1% of my viewers are below 18, so I guess I won't be reaching many of them directly. But you, my dear viewer above 18, are probably the sibling, or the parent, or the uncle, or the grandparent, or the godparent, or the teacher, or the friend of a bright girl or boy between 12 and 16 or thereabouts, and in that case, I ask you to pass on my message, if you find it valuable, either in your own words, or by pointing them at this video, or even watching this video together with them and talking about it, even if it's just to disagree widely with the stuff I say. And by all means, disagree with me in the comments below as well, as it may be instructive to others to hear your alternative viewpoint. Welcome to Frank Staiano Explains. As a full professor of computer science at the University of Cambridge and a fellow of Trinity College, Cambridge, I have been a professional educator for over 20 years. This place, where I teach, is a very selective school for talented people. We admit some of the smartest kids in the world and we allow their talents to flourish so that they can perform at their fullest potential. As I record this video, the 2024 end-of-year results are just out, and in almost every year of the computer science course, master course included, the top-ranking student in computer science was from Trinity, this college, someone I personally supervised and looked after. And I mention this not to brag, but to say that I am very familiar with the very top of the histogram, the brightest of the brightest from all over the world, from all cultures and all languages and all genders and all social backgrounds, and I know how to help these young people improve and make the most of their fantastic talents. Now, with this background, I'm speaking directly to you, dear teenager, and I want to help you make the most of your talents, whatever they are, even if you have no intention of studying computer science or of applying to Cambridge, or if you don't want the pressure of even considering whether you are in the top 1% or anything like that. So this is not going to be a video of answers, of telling you what you should do, but it's going to be a video of questions, of difficult and possibly uncomfortable questions you should ask yourself and discuss with people you trust to figure out how to make the most of your own life. Remember, it's your life and you are in charge, and whatever you do, including refusing to choose, is in fact a decision with consequences. So my first question to you is going to be, from what you've figured out about yourself up to now, what are the things you both enjoy doing and are good at doing? And list as many as you can think of, and then for each one of them, ask yourself if you would still enjoy doing that long term, year after year after year, as your career. Your professional life is going to be much happier if on Monday morning you're all excited to go to work and do super cool stuff that fires you up. So obvious as it is, that is a very important starting point that you should not neglect when choosing what to do next. My second question is about money. Whatever people may have told you, money is important. You need money to have freedom. Money on its own won't buy you happiness, that's true, but lack of money will give you stress and unhappiness. So try to figure out what kind of lifestyle would make you happy. What do you think you want in terms of material things to feel satisfied? Of course, it can be a range rather than an exact value, and a range with a minimum amount below which you'll definitely feel insecure and unsatisfied, and a maximum amount above which, if you really think about it, additional money would not really make much difference and you wouldn't know what to do with it. So, but think about it. Difficult as it may be to put real numbers on it, you want some kind of ballpark estimate because some of the other questions I have for you depend on how much money you need to live the life that you want. My third question is, can you think of specific people with name and surname, preferably but not exclusively people you know personally, who live the kind of life you would want for yourself, both in terms of doing the job you would like to do and in terms of having the lifestyle you want? They might not come to mind immediately, but I'm sure that some of them exist. So do your homework. Once you've identified those people, would you find out a bit more about how they got there, what they studied at university, if they even went to university, what did their path look like? Did they have it all planned, or did it fall in their lap? Note, it's even okay to fire off a polite email to them and ask them. If you show genuine interest, hey, they might be happy to have a chat and tell you. And don't believe that luck happens randomly. The people who are truly successful might look lucky, but usually they make their own luck. My fourth question is this. Do you think the career you want will pay you the money you need to live the lifestyle you want? Would you do a bit of homework to find out, please? This may sound too much like boring grown-up stuff, but you do want to get acquainted with these basics early on and not go out into the world as totally naive about money, otherwise you'll regret it and you will be taken advantage of. So for example, how much does a house, your preferred kind of house, cost to rent or to buy? What recurring costs come with having a family of the size you want? Children, vacations, cars and whatnot.
Ooh, scary, scary. I'm a million miles from thinking about children yet.
Never mind. Just figure out the numbers. Leave the numbers parametric if you don't know how many children you want yet. How much would your ideal job pay, realistically? And do the basic arithmetic that goes with it. Can you afford that lifestyle with that job? The point is, maybe the kind of stuff you enjoy doing is very pleasant to you, but is not terribly valuable to others, and so you are unlikely to be offered a lot of money for doing it. For example, I like reading comics. And I have written various books or parts of books about comics over the years, just because I like it. But I have never made a penny from it. For another example, I once went to a presentation by a person with a PhD in some fancy topic that sounded totally pointless to me. And my thought throughout that half hour of presentation was, good luck to him if that's what he likes, but who on earth is paying a stipend to this person to research and write about this stuff? What good is it to anyone? As a basic principle, you are rewarded with money in exchange for providing some value to someone. So if you want to make more money, you had better provide more value to more people. Of course, it's not exactly that straightforward, nor necessarily always fair. For example, I might be biased, but I think education provides a lot of value to individuals and to society. And that's one of the reasons why I've chosen it as my career, because that's what I find satisfying. But I don't think it's rewarded accordingly in monetary terms. I could make a lot more money in industry than I do as a university professor, and I know firsthand because I used to work in industry. And it's even worse for school teachers in high school or middle school or elementary school, whose financial treatment is much worse than that of a university professor, despite the fact that they are just as important, at least in my view. But let's not digress talking about me. Let's keep talking about you. Ask yourself, at least in ballpark terms, if the thing that you would enjoy doing, for example, I don't know, writing poetry, would give you enough money for the lifestyle you'd want. For example, an apartment in the city, a holiday home on a sunny beach, and a private airplane. And if there's too much of a gap between the two numbers, or the two ranges of numbers, then find out if you might still be satisfied with a less expensive lifestyle, such as flying economy rather than having your own private plane, and also with a more lucrative income stream, working a different kind of job you might still enjoy, and that would perhaps allow you to write poetry in your spare time for no financial compensation, instead of that being your breadwinner, as I do when writing about comics for no pay or when teaching Japanese swordsmanship. So this fourth question is a big one, and I want you to realize there are many dials that you can turn to make things work out if you find that there is a gap between your expected pay and your desired lifestyle. To get paid more, as I told you, you must find ways to use your specific talents to add more value to more people. Consider other jobs and other kinds of jobs, and we'll discuss this further in the next question. Consider a less expensive lifestyle, which can be achieved not only by aspiring for less, but also by exploiting geographical arbitrage, which is to say, by being willing to relocate where houses are cheaper, the cost of living is lower, the lifestyle is more relaxed, and so forth. Now, not all of these options are necessarily easy or even mutually compatible, but they exist. And at this stage, you should give yourself the freedom to consider them all, none excluded. My fifth question is about creating your own luck. Once you have identified a career you would enjoy, one that would get you fired up to go to work in the morning, ideally something that plays to your talents and that you would like to do even for free for its own sake if you already had all the money in the world, and a career that is also financially compatible with a lifestyle that you would be happy with, then my fifth question is, what would best prepare you to land that dream job of yours, which would be different from my dream job or her dream job or anyone else's dream job? What do you need to learn to perform at your best in that professional area? I teach computer science, and studying this subject in a good university opens many doors in many possible careers in science and technology. But of course, there are dozens of other university courses, each opening a different set of doors. And a talented teenager like you will have a chance to go to university either because your parents generously invest in you, or because society invests in you, as happens in some countries where university education is free, or because your brilliance earns you a scholarship, and so on and so forth. So going to university is a privilege. Whoever is paying for it, for you, it's like winning the lottery. Treat it with respect. It's a privileged 3 or 4 or 5 years where you have no duties, no responsibilities, no obligations other than immersing yourself in the topic you like, the topic you chose, and learn and improve yourself and come out a better person, better prepared for the career you want to pursue. Many university students, including many of mine, forget how privileged they are to be here. Nobody obliged them to be there. They are being given a long period in which they can study and learn exactly the topic they said they liked. And for most of us, this is not going to happen again in our lifetime, so make the most of the special chance. You are investing in yourself. Respect that time, be grateful for it, and make it count. Choose the topic so that it sets you up for success in the rather bigger thing that you want to do throughout your career. So again, my fifth question really is, of the many ways you could invest in yourself after finishing high school, which one will best prepare you for the career that you wish to pursue? And do open up your horizon as widely as possible. Even though I am a university professor, I never told you it had to be a university course that you do after high school. Maybe your dream career is an entrepreneurial one, and then you might learn more by selling real estate or cars or insurance for those few years. If you're particularly entrepreneur, the kind of kid who ran the proverbial lemonade stand at 8 years old, you might even launch your own product or service and fail and try again and fail and try again, and eventually learn more through that kind of experience than through a master in business administration. Of course, that's not for everyone, and some of these options are riskier than others if you start from zero, but my point is that there are more roads in front of you than just the ones your relatives took, or in any case, just the ones that you have considered until now. And this works both ways. I mean, you don't have to go to university, but on the other hand, if nobody in your family ever went to university, but there is a topic you love and you are good at that, then maybe studying that subject at university and then getting a job in that field is the right path for you. So my point here is that these crucial years are when you prepare the ground and you sow the seeds, and then getting your dream job is the harvest time. And this question 5 is about finding out what seeds you need to plant, what investment in yourself you need to make, what university course or what non-university life experience or apprenticeship or whatever you need to engage in order to be able to harvest your dream job a few years later. And we could say plenty more if you wanted, but I'll stop here for today. This gives you something to think about, and I hope it will help you choose the right path. If you find that useful, I think you will also like this other video on what to study at university and this other one on what you can hope to get out of a university education. It's a difficult choice, but don't let it overwhelm you. If you forget everything else, remember this: successful people usually make their own luck. So do that for yourself too. Please drop a horseshoe emoji in a comment if you made it this far, and share your thoughts below on how to decide what to do after school. And my best wishes.